Here's part 6 of our conversation with Kathy Valentine of the Go-Go's. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. John Belushi, hanging, partying, just who can say, how many people can say that? What was that like?
Probably a lot that knew him at the time, but he was a great guy, and I feel, I think it's a tragedy what happened to him, and he was a sweet guy, and I feel really lucky that I got to know him as a friend and as a person. I mean, that was really cool. I mean, he was our biggest fan when we started out. To have on one of my favorite shows since I was a teenager, Saturday Night Live, one of the biggest stars from that, one of the most beloved people in the country, be your fan was just mind-blowing.
Suzi Quatro. I mean, you described that like some people describe the Beatles in '64 and Ed Sullivan. Tell me about that experience for you.
It's in the book, and it's one of the best things I wrote about, but it was basically, changed my life. And I don't know how many people's lives get changed at their grandmother's house, but mine did. And she was the first person that I saw. It's so much of things like this is about visibility. I think if there was a lot more females when I started playing music and went back to England and joined that early version of girl school, there was all kinds of women, teenage musicians, because they'd seen Suzi Quatro. She wasn't a star in America until Happy Days. So I think so much of it is about visibility. And if we had known, if more girls had seen other women and females being in bands, more would have thought to do it. That seeing her made me want to do it. And we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have a lot of stories written about. I had never heard of Fanny. I had never heard of Goldie and the Gingerbreads or the Debutantes or the Pleasure Seekers. These are all bands. You can now go on YouTube and look up female bands of the 60s, and you'll see dozens. But teenagers in the 70s, we didn't know who they were. We'd never heard of them. So visibility is so important. And yeah, seeing Suzi Quatro be a rock star, I didn't think of her as a bass player I just thought of her as a rock star. And I was like, okay, I can do this too. And I wanted to do it with other girls.
At what point, and this sounds like aren't you great question, but I'm going, listen, I enjoyed the parts of you growing up just as much or maybe more so than the parts with the Go-Go's, because you did not have a traditional life. Your life was, by default, pretty damn exciting.
Yeah, a lot of readers told me that. A lot of readers said, and even Go-Go's fans, have said, I bought it because I'm a Go-Go's fan and I wanted to know, but I was more interested in before and after the band. And, I was inspired by two music memoirs, which was Just Kids by Patti Smith and Chronicles by Bob Dylan, which are both impeccably written books. So that was like, okay. But also memoirs from people that are not famous people that just had compelling stories. Cheryl Strayed with Wild, Tara Westover with Educated, Mary Carr with The Liars Club. These are like literary memoirs that are ordinary people that had, pretty compelling, interesting stories. And that was my inspiration. I'm like, I have an interesting life, and that gave me confidence to write, because otherwise it'd be like my daughter, this is hilarious. My daughter said, why would anybody want to write a memoir? Why would anybody want to put that stuff out there and have people know that stuff about them that isn't so great? And it was a hard question to answer. She's asking me this when I first started it, and she was like 14, and I was like, well, not everybody does want to do it, but the people that do write a memoir, it's really can show readers that, hey, life can be pretty up and down, and yet you can still find success, and you can be loved, and you can have families and find good things, and it's inspiring for a lot of people that have less than ideal circumstances.
Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. And buy a t-shirt, help support our channel, link in the description of this video. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music.